Hey guys, it's Ben Crow or Jinx for the people that play on the server. Ben Crow, you just watched my YouTube channel. Um, and I have a guest here with me today.
I'm
It's
always in your videos.
he's
It's not even a
just
guest anymore.
he's not a
I'm
guest.
just here now. Yeah.
He's the roommate. It's Jax. Some
Howdy.
people you know him as Jax Narb, Jax Smith.
I'll go by that. Oh.
So we're gonna be doing this video is basically gonna be um talking about the beginning, like how Lazarus came to be, some other stuff, like just from the beginning, just like a lot of stuff. So, and for some people that are watching, we're gonna spill the truth, okay? We're gonna spill the truth. So, I mean, I'm not gonna hide anything. Jax is gonna hide everything.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not telling you guys
No,
shit. No, it's like,
um, I'm just gonna tell it how it is and like what happened and what led to what and what I believe, you know, that type of stuff. Um, Because, I mean, I have nothing to hide. And I already told you guys, like, if people didn't play on the community, I don't hide stuff from you guys because that happened one time and then things didn't go well. So, um, yeah, we're going to get into it. So, let's start out from the very beginning. So, my dad and my mom loved each other very much.
a
Yeah, we're
little bit
starting
fast.
from there. All right, let's jump a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
years.
about like 18 years later.
So, I mean, do we want to talk about, like, how where we met through, or do you just want to just jump into the Star Wars
um,
there?
I don't really know if you want to go through that. We can.
Well,
We can
we can
go
just
like
say,
lightly touch it.
um, I used to be in a okay, so I used to be a part of a group of friends, and I originated on Minecraft, so that's how I started PC gaming. I started playing Minecraft. Me and Jax had a mutual friend named Andrew, or Mr. Derp. He was a good friend of ours, which we are still kind of in contact today. It's kind of hard because we play different games. And we all started playing League of Legends, and that's kind of how I met Jax, and he was kind of like a really good player within like our big group, and I was kind of one of the noob guys. And the more we played, I got to know him better, and then we just got a lot closer from that. Um, I mean, we're pretty close, I think.
Yeah. I mean, right. Yeah, a little bit.
So I mean, so yeah, that's how we met is through League of Legends, and then um, we 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 would hang out every now and then continuously just got more violent hanging out. Like it'd be more often, and then
Yeah.
then did I tell you to download Gary's Mod? I think to play Dark
Yeah, I think.
RP, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, we used to play like Trouble in Terrorist Town or something weird. And you didn't
Okay.
like those games though. You're not a big fan of Trouble in Terrorist Town,
Yeah,
or you
because
didn't really play it much
I
with
was a big
me.
Dark RP fan
Yeah,
at the
yeah, yeah.
time.
And when I didn't understand like the rules, to this day I still understand the rules of Dark RP.
Yeah,
I like get fucking banned and kicked. And I don't even know what I did.
for some
But
people, yeah, for some people that don't know, I also well, when I started playing Gary's Mod, I started playing Dark RP. Like that was my shit. Like that's all I did was just play Dark RP constantly.
yeah,
And
so we were playing what? We were playing like on that day we were playing Dark RP because you're like let's play Gary's Mod. I'm like okay, I'm down. Like we weren't playing League at the time. I think we were like tilted from League or something. Like we must have
like
lost
I
a
mean,
couple
we're
games.
always tilted.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair.
And then we
And
were playing. I remember we were playing sledding, the sledding game. Do you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
it?
yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
I made the sled with like all the babies like
Yeah,
melted together, like
yeah, that
welded.
was kind of creepy. And then I was like, I'm bored of this shit. Let's find something else. And so we backed out into like a normal server thing. Like I didn't even have like the old one. I had like the really new one that's kind of sucks like way more. You know what I'm talking about? Like the what do they call it? Like the old console or the old like server browser. Anyways, and I was like looking through servers like oh Dark RP, Dark RP, Dark RP, Dark RP, Dark RP,
Yeah.
Sled, Dark RP, Dark RP, and it was like okay, I don't want to play Dark RP.
Yep.
And then I ended up like strolling across like this Clone Wars thing, and of course everyone knows it's ASG Clone Wars RP. I'm
The
like all
good
right.
old ASG.
And I was like
Good
James,
old.
like what do you think about like this? It's Star Wars, obviously. Like we're big Star Wars, or well, I thought I was a big Star Wars fan until got into Clone Wars, and I realized everyone knew more about Star Wars than I did. Um, and
That's
then
true.
he was like those servers never have any players on it. I'm like
Yeah, yeah,
really?
yeah.
This thing has
Because
74 people on it,
uh,
and he's like
uh
what the fuck?
to for you guys information, all I did was play Dark RP. So I thought Dark RP was the like what
God.
Gary's Mod was, and all the other stuff was just like half shit. And then he was like, "There's like a shit ton of people." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And that might be awesome because I could fucking be a clone trooper, you know?
Yeah,
So,
so we get on and like the loading takes forever because God knows how many add-ons these people had, and I mean it carries on to this day. And I think I might have it in my Steam name because I didn't know how to change my name in game, but my first like name was like CR6969 of course, and then Ice Lemon Tea, which is like my old Steam thing.
mm,
And I was one of those guys, and I was like this is so fucking stupid. It was just dumb to me. I was like, why do people do this? And then the more I played, I was like, holy shit. Or you, I, it, we okay. Talk about the 212. Talk about the 212. I think that'd be better.
okay, okay. Well, I mean, my original numbers was CT1357 Jinx. I think it was still Jinx. Like I've been Jinx since then.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forget you
Yeah.
had.
Um, and then so we got on this server, and man, we were kind of playing. We were kind of skeptical about it. I mean, it was kind of cool. It was kind of
And
like
we were with
weird.
Dallas, right?
Yeah, we were with Dallas.
It
We
was
had
it
a
was
we
it
had a
was
good
me, you, and
friend.
Dallas.
Yeah, we had a good friend
Well,
named
he's
Dallas.
our old head admin. Doesn't really play much anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah, you guys know him as Blitz.
Yeah.
He was like we us three first joined Star Wars together. Like that was the team right there.
Yeah, that was the
And we
dream team.
played for fucking
Yeah. So we
hours.
got on ASG and I guess like we were just trying to figure out everything and we just joined the first tryout we found and it was the 212th Attack Battalion led by Peyton
Yeah, Peyton.
and he was
And
commander of the 212 in Peyton.
but Cervantes was the one that recruited us.
Yeah, because Cervantes did everything.
Yeah, Cervantes was a battalion commander.
Yeah.
You might know him if you're from the TCG era.
Yeah.
And of course you know him
Yeah.
if you're in ASG era.
Yeah.
He was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, Serv and Peyton were really awesome. We joined the 212 and then we just got sucked in. It was
Yeah,
we
like
got so sucked in.
like 12 hours a day, every single day.
Like if you guys don't know, Jax does play a lot of WoW, and he's a big
Oh
WoW
yeah,
fanatic, and he
I'm a
absolutely
big WoW
loves
fan.
WoW. And he would have raids on certain days, and he couldn't, sometimes I would have to wait because I would have to wait for him to be done with raid, and then we could hang out. Which, sometimes he would like skip raid to just play Star Wars, or he would get
Yeah,
upset because he couldn't be on Star Wars, which means a lot coming from Jax. If you guys don't know him,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
I'm
big
a
deal.
big WoW fan. I mean, I have it tattooed on me, so
We were
or
so
something
like,
related.
and we weren't minges. Like we were like literally like fucking. We were like the best soldiers, and we were like fucking like we were into this shit so hard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, we started rising up through the ranks. And when what's funny is I told Jax when I joined the server, or I was like, we're gonna take over the server, dude. And like,
Yeah,
it's about
and
it's gonna
actually
about to be done.
Tyrone was there, and Tyrone hated us at
Yeah,
this point.
Tyrone hated us, by
Tyrone
the way.
and Marsoc, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
they hated us at this point. The very, very beginning, they were not fans of us. They thought we were like these little like idiots or something like that. Like they'll tell you firsthand too that we and it just ended up being like a long lasting relationship. But we'll talk about that when it gets more at the
yeah.
end of the ASG era.
Um, so yeah, so we just started playing. We started ranking up. We ranked up quickly. Um, had an awesome time. I got to down the line. Uh, Commander Peyton decided to resign, and this is the same time Cervantes was battalion commander, and I was maybe major or
Something like that.
captain or
Yeah,
something
captain.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was basically in third command is where I was at, and then I don't know what rank were you at the time.
I must have been like maybe a staff sergeant or a second lieutenant, something around there. I know I
Something
was
like
always a couple ranks under you.
and so then Peyton resigned and didn't want to. I don't know what his real reasoning was. He just, I guess,
I think it was school or something. You know, like
school,
the
some
normal.
he couldn't be a commander anymore. So um, Cervantes took over. He became commander. I was promoted pretty quickly to battalion commander, and we just dominated the server. We dominated HGS 212 Attack Battalion, and it was amazing. Like we were so badass, and that's why, if you guys don't know, why me and Jax love Frontlines so much is because on ASG, there was a lot of people that like bought special stuff and like wanted to be, but we were just like, we're the fucking front line, mate. We just like, I don't know. It's just like, I love the fact that we were so basic, but we were better than so many people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I love, because it's like, you don't need special stuff to be good soldiers and all that types of stuff when it comes to this type of server. So that's why I'm so excited when people buy front lines or stuff like that. You definitely have a place in my heart if you run a front line. Um, but sadly, okay, so I guess ASU was it was pretty corrupt. So I mean, I was like maybe a moderator or an admin at this point, something along those lines when I was a battalion commander. And what happened was, is I guess a lot of the staff in ASG were deciding to do a global purge, like of all ranks, like remove everyone, choose new commanders, and all that stuff. And and at that time, I mean, no one knew about it. They like it was out of the blue. Like
Yeah,
it
it was
came out of the blue.
completely random.
Yeah, it was completely random. And that around that same time, Cervantes was out of town for like 3 days. So our commander was out, and they just removed everyone from everyone. Everyone got like fucked. So I spent 2 hours in that team speak trying to get the 212 attack battalion back because,
Yep.
and they give it to Cervantes when he came back. I spent 2 hours in that team speak trying to get it back, and they what they did is they had like a team speak channel and they would drag people in one by one, and I was sitting there patiently. I was like, please, please. So they finally dragged me in, and they're like, all right, so everyone has decided for you to be a commander. These are the commanders that are available right now. 91st Recon, 21st Nova Corps, ARF, and like 327th. And I was like, what about the 212? And then they're like this guy named Zulu took it. And I was like, are
Oh
you
my god.
fucking kidding me? Now Zulu's an asshole. If anyone wants to, like, he was not. He was someone that
He was
always
just
like
a
fucked
dick.
with us. Yeah, he was a dick.
He was like inactive first off.
Yeah,
He was probably friends with the owners.
yeah,
And
definitely,
then
definitely.
yeah, and he was just a dick. It was like, okay, what the fuck? Why does this guy have any sort of power?
So he had the baton. I was like, fuck, dude. And they're like, you gotta choose. You gotta choose now, or else you're not gonna get anything. So I was like, all right, I'll just take the 21st Nova Corps. So I become Commander Bakar of the 21st Nova Corps, and Cervantes is still gone. But like a day or the same day, Zulu was like, well, Cervantes was flipping out. But then like Zulu decided to like give it up or something, and then so Scarface, if you guys know Scarface, he actually we made Scarface the commander so that now we have now, like, our battalion was huge, by the way. It was like 25,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it was the
people
biggest on
strong.
the server
It
by
was the
far.
biggest, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we had like, so basically now our large group had the 212 Attack Battalion and the 21st Nova Corps. So we were like, what do we do with this power? Now we have a lot of power and we don't know what to do with it. So we were saying maybe we should just have one of our guys stay in 212 and we just run it. Like, I mean, the more people in these places, the easier it's going to be to like be in control. Because that's the thing is on ASG, if you're not in control, you're just going to get shit on, and that's why we try to strive for everyone to be friendly in our community, is because we came from that community which just everyone just hated each other. If you weren't in the battalion, if you basically whoever was in your battalion was your brothers, and everyone else was just out to get you, and like
It was super doggy
yeah,
dog.
it was
Super
awful.
doggy dog.
So um we ended up like because it was kind of hard like because that was the first time I was just like they were I was deciding if I should give up commander of the 21st, which was really hard. Like even though we had our overall goal, it was hard to give up that position, and I ended up not giving it. I don't know if that was the good decision or a bad decision, but I ended up staying the commander, and then Serv became actually my second in command. Oh no, you were my second in command, and
No,
Serv.
Serv was battalion commander, and then I was
Oh,
like a
you.
colonel or something like that.
Okay, so you were third in command. Serv was in second. Well, I think I gave it to him because he was the commander
Because he
before.
was the commander. Yeah, no, I didn't even argue against it.
So then we had this, and then Dallas was like in fourth in
Rybender.
command or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So we had everyone in power that we needed, and so we took over 21st, and then we decided to give the 212 attack battalion to a guy named Lucky, which is a friend of
Well, a
ours,
good friend of ours.
good
Yeah.
friend of ours. We've talked to him recently. He kind of stopped playing Star Wars altogether due to other stuff, but we're not going to get into that. But basically, now we have a friend in the 212, and now we have the 21st Nova Corps, and then, like, we thought the 212 was scary. No, no. 21st became, like,
God
so,
tier.
like, everyone hated us, though, like, but we were just
Yeah, yeah.
so big and so monstrous that no one could do anything about it. And we didn't minge. It was, like, a legit battalion. Like, we had, like, all this stuff. And, we were so big, and I think that's when I reached my pinnacle of staff there, and I was a super admin. Um, we had a lot of encounters. I mean, do you remember that time where like Alpha like tried to tell you guys what to do? You remember at
Yeah, yeah.
27th?
You mean like every day?
Yeah, yeah. And then there was like a bunch of they would just like try to take control of your troops all the time. Like it was so frustrating. I mean, there was this one time where like there was this guy that was part of the Seventh Fleet, I think, Seventh Sky Corps or something, and he
Something
was
like
like,
that, yeah.
and there was like he was making everyone do mass PT, which his battalion was inactive, by the way. Like I never used to see
He had
anyone.
like one soldier, I remember, like, or one trooper that would always show up, and that was it.
And what's it called? He was like making people do global PT or whatever, and like my soldiers did great, and he like and we were walking around, and he and there and we saw everyone running in the spawn area, and I was a commander and he was a commander, and he like tried to make me. He's like, why aren't your troops running PT? And I'm like, cause they did a good job and they don't deserve to run PT. And then he was like, I don't know, he tried to start an argument with me, and I just like shut him down. And I think that was the last time he ever caused any problems with us.
But
I don't think.
he honestly just tried being friends after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're completely right.
It was him and what was his name?
Six.
The Shadow Corp. Yeah, six, dude.
He's
They,
six.
they used to like they used to like be on our ass, and then all of a sudden they just want to be friends. I was like, well, what the fuck did this happen?
But yeah, so then the legacy lived on. We kicked
For a
ass, and
while.
then
Yeah.
servers started becoming really corrupt, and I think that's when we decided to leave, and it was awful. And it was the same time where they demoted Jark too.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
remember that. Oh yeah,
and we
Jark
were
is from there. If
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys didn't
Oh yeah,
know,
if you didn't know
that's like
Jark, that's how where we met
original.
Jark.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was their Grand Admiral at that time, and
yeah,
he was a. I mean, everyone knows him now on the server, so he's a fun
yeah,
RPer.
yeah.
So him and Jinx got along really well, and kind of how we got Jark to like kind of, I mean, follow us when it came to like TCG and LG. But continue on with the ASG thing, I guess.
Um, so ASG, we left ASG, and then I think Eric stopped playing Star Wars for a little bit
Yeah.
after that. And then, but the thing is, Jark was starting a server, and he was starting a server called JPL, and I was extremely interested because I wanted to be a part of something still. So I decided to go join a JPL. Things didn't go as planned, and then it unfortunately it shut down, and I was really upset about it. But the branch out from JPL or the whatever. Well, there was a couple people that were all together. Like there was another guy named Olive that was a part of ASG as well. That was friends with Jark, and I think that they I don't think they started JPL together. I think one started Nam and one started JPL. JPL was
Yeah,
down,
Nam. Yeah,
and but I wasn't done with Star Wars either. But Jax was like out of the picture
I was
for a
done.
little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was out of there.
After like no lifing ASG for like the longest time, he was
Probably
pretty
around
burned
like
out.
6 months. Yeah.
So I went over to Nam and became a second lieutenant pretty easily, and then like it was like the same thing in ASG. Like the owners like they didn't want to listen to their staff, and it was just awful. So I was just like, all right, screw this. So I left, and then that's when we'd even bring in Campy. We forgot about Campy.
I think this is still
No,
before it though.
Campy was on ASG.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So
Campy was our sub battalion. He was the leader of our sub battalion.
yeah, he was actually a pretty cool
Yeah,
guy
he was a pretty
until
awesome
we
guy.
really got to know him.
Yeah, he was a
I mean,
pretty
even
awesome
then,
guy.
he was still not a bad guy. He was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of a fucking douche.
Yeah, and so we got to know our Campy, which was our sub battalion, and he kind of I kind of bring some people over to Nam with me, and then we were like, dude, this is fucking like these people are just gonna become like ASG again, which Nam is closed now, but what's it called? Um, so me and Comfy decided to make our own server called CLG. Now CLG was the beginning of it all. And we ran a really different server than other people. There was like the ranking systems were different, the armor was different. It was Star Wars, but like our take on it. Like we named the battalions like Helios Battalion, Frost Battalion, Viper Battalion. Like we named them and like did all the stuff. It was really cool. We were starting to
It
get
was
player
awesome.
base. We were maybe getting 35,
40
30.
players, something like that. Yeah,
They were starting to
every
get high,
day.
and then but Comfy didn't like that we weren't getting more players or something like that. Something happened, and he
Yeah,
decided
literally
to.
that was it. He was like, we're not getting enough players. I'm gonna
Yeah,
close down
so
the server.
he closed down the server and took all the donations and bounced. So
But just to add like insult to injury, Jinx was also another half of the owners, so he
yeah.
really didn't even get to say that. And
So I
then
wasn't fucked
I was
over
the head
just
admin,
once.
and I had no idea how I got put in that position
Oh
because
yeah, I
I didn't know
forced
any
Jax.
ULX command.
I forced
I
him.
I,
He
I
was my.
literally I didn't even know how to cloak or no cloak. I think I had Scarface actually teach me like in the main hangar when the ship was actually being built still. Like he was teaching me stuff and like the basics of our. That's why I always say like if I'm looking for a staff member, I'm looking for someone that's gonna be a good person because in the end I could teach them all the ULX commands. It's not difficult at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so after CLG,
Well, we gotta tell him.
oh
By the way, we missed a big part too.
which part?
Um, Korea and Marsak.
Oh, okay,
So
okay, yeah. So we
so
met these. We'll go back to ASG then, because
yeah
that's where we met them.
yeah. So
We met
we'll
Marsoc
backtrack for
in
a second.
yeah, yeah. So this is back in ASG days. So the first time, we ended up meeting a guy in our battalion along with Tyrone. They're like best friends. You guys probably know Tyrone, but a guy named Marsoc ended up being pretty good friends after a while. But this guy had a really weird sense of humor, like a really weird sense of humor. Um,
Yeah.
he's a pretty fun guy though. I mean, sometimes. But he ended up being pretty good friends with us and during ASG, and he was like what like one of the because we had like squadrons in our battalion in
Mhm.
ASG, and he ended up being one of the leaders for it, um, and pretty high ranking, maybe like fifth, sixth in line. Uh, but he also came with us to and then Korea. We met a later on down the road, like really late down. This is already, when we were already like 21st to Nova Corps. We ended up meeting a 91st recon, and he would always come to our barracks and stuff in there, and he would like jump in like it's their like a little like roof thing, and he
Yeah.
would like blast music,
We had and
and
then we made that our radio room, and he would just go in
yeah,
there
we
and
like
fucking play stuff.
yeah, he would just like go in there and literally just play music through his mic the entire time. So such mingy stuff. And we were like, why don't you just join our fucking battalion? You're like with us anyways, like all the time. And he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I don't know. And we ended up being really good friends in Korea. Um, and this guy was way. Oh, and we forgot about Bach. And Bach was with us through this
Oh
whole thing too.
God, I
But you guys
forgot
know
about.
Bach too. Bach was with us through this entire process. He was always there, but he had like weird time zones because he lived in Singapore. So he would like be there later at night. So if we were ever like in like a flipped sleeping schedule, we would like hang out with him a lot. He would
I met
and this
Bark.
guy,
I mean Bark. I
Mark.
met Bach when I was playing on ASU. I mean not ASU. On Well, I met Bach a long time ago
Dark RP.
on
TPS?
Dark RP. Yeah, on TPS, which was the Dark RP server that we used to play on, and that's how we know. Well, I know him, and then he got to know Eric through soccer and ASG. So
Yeah, we had a very tight connection. I mean, we still do, even though his soccer team's a piece of shit. Is we have a really close connection to soccer. Um, but this guy ended up being like we didn't know how much of a god at debbing he was until we made TCG, which will go down. And this guy he's like even to this day he's a genius, but he'll just make fun of you the entire time while he's doing stuff. He's like, you're so stupid, or you're a fucking idiot or something. He's like, God damn it.
yeah,
Um, and then so that kind of covers like the basis of that. So we ended up making CLG with Marsoc and Korea, right? Marsoc and Korea
wait,
there?
you're jumping a little bit.
No, because it's CLG. It's still CLG.
Oh yeah, well, oh yeah, oh
Because
yeah,
Marsoc and Korea is there. It
you're
can't
right,
be. Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on the right track. So Marsoc's there. Korea's there. We're all just players, and I think they're like admins or something on there, right? Or moderators, some shit
Yeah,
like that.
they were around there.
But yeah, so they're just like normal staff. I mean, we just talk to them like normal. We're still all friends with each other. Um, and we're just trying to get the server up and running, but Campy wasn't having it. He didn't like how we were only getting like 30, 40 players. He wanted to be a big shot already, and we put in like a month time into it, so he was not having it. Ended up taking all the donations and just piecing it. Literally, I didn't talk to him after that, so I don't know if Jinx knows what happened to him after that.
Nope, he bounced it. He didn't even like tell me he was shutting it down. He never contacted me after that. He just kind of left. So
Nice.
it was great, dude. It was awesome.
So like after that, like that was like my final straw. I think I quit for like 3 months
Yeah,
after that.
cause
Oh no, because we made energy.
yeah,
That's not
we
true.
made
I didn't quit.
NRG. Yeah. And then so Korea and Marsoc didn't. Oh no, Korea and Bach didn't want it to go down, and they were like, we want to keep it up. I don't want to let Coffee,
Ruin this for us.
ruin what we had. And then I was like, all right, but I kind of was giving up at that point. I was just sick of it. And so we started NRG, which we were trying to do our own take on on a military role play. So we wrote our own lore and
Oh, you're
stuff
talking
like
about
that.
Resistance?
Yeah, called
Oh,
Resistance
that was
RP.
awesome.
And
Okay.
I enjoy that a lot. And we wrote our own lore on it. It was like, it was pretty awesome.
It
If
was
you,
dope as hell. It was literally just like sci-fi stuff, so you could take out anything sci-fi. It was more like there's like a bunch. It's just like how Star Wars is with the squadrons and stuff. But obviously there's it was our own lore, so we like
yeah,
made up all the story. It was such a cool idea, such a cool concept. I'd love to bring that back now, then like just like play it out and see what happens, even if it's
yeah.
not successful.
Maybe we will once
Yeah, yeah,
this
you're right.
gets going. Well, I would love that.
Yeah, that would be dope. It had such a cool story to it, and like such cool like ideas and squadrons. Um, But oh yeah, in ASG we also met a guy that you are probably familiar with named APT. And he was
Oh
part
yeah, that
of
guy. I fucking
the
hate that guy.
41st
Huh?
for a while, right? Was he 41st or was
Was
that?
he 41st?
I think that was in TCG. He came 41st.
Did he?
I think so. I'm not sure. Anyways, he would hang out with us sometimes. He would. I don't think he spent that much time on Star Wars at that point in ASG, and he didn't follow us to CLG, right? He wasn't there.
He's part of the Galactic Marines.
Oh shit.
I think he was.
Maybe okay, so maybe he did show up in CLG. Maybe I'm having
Tony
this
was a
confused.
quiet
I
guy.
think yeah, Tony was really quiet. Like I don't he
Yeah,
like sprouted recently, and
yeah,
I think he was in CLG, and he was like our only like super admin that was always on. I remember actually I remember perfectly because I remember talking to him and having like a interview when we were promoting him to like like T mod or something like that. Like
yeah,
I came and we were on the Resistance RP, and he came in, and I was literally talking to him about it, and like and I was like giving him scenarios like and moderating, and he was like yeah, I could do that. He's like a real timid shy guy. Like what the fuck happened to
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Um,
It's because
but
we changed him.
yeah, you're right. We corrupted him.
Yeah, he's corrupt. God damn, we ruined an instant bystander.
And he was there the entire wait, what am I talking about? He was there during CLG. I think he might have
Yeah.
been there for Energy too.
Oh yeah, he was there
Um,
for everything.
yeah, he was there for everything, dude. Tony was like a homie for life, even we didn't like realize
Sorry,
it.
Tony, we forgot about you.
Sorry, Tony. Yeah.
It's funny because like we forgot about him this entire time. We actually all the owners met up in real life recently. And we're just like, yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
Tony was never there.
Yeah.
Um,
So Tony was there the entire time,
yeah,
so I'm completely
yeah.
wrong.
Sorry,
Um,
Tony.
and I guess Energy was short-lived. I don't really know what to talk
Yeah, it
about.
was
I guess
short-lived. No, we weren't getting the players we needed, and it just kind of I was
yeah,
giving up.
we would like peak at like 15 players, something like that. It
It
was not
was
good.
yeah. So I kind of gave up. What the heck happened? I kind of gave up on the situation, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore because I was getting bored of it. So then that's when basically we shut it down, and we kind of gave up, and then me and Jax went to go doing our own thing, and we didn't talk to like Jax. I mean not Jack, Marsoc and Korea, and like all of them for a long time, and Bach even. We kept in contact with Bach every now and
Yeah,
then.
Bach, yeah. That's really
Um,
it.
but then like we kind of just parted ways, and then so later down, I think it was like 6 months later, I feel like, or like a long time,
Damn, like half a year, yeah, some shit like that.
something like that along those lines, and I got because I used to still get on Steam, and I started getting messages from this guy that we used to know named Guy, um, that what we also met on ASG, and okay, so as you guys know, we use the CGI models, and the old models were, as you can see, you could go on a lot of servers still use them. It's like these um,
Like really
default.
big
Yeah,
models.
yeah, they look like marshmallows, and they're kind of gross. I don't like them anymore, but um, well, he was getting these models, like these CGI models, and I was like, wow, these look so cool. I like really liked them, and I was like, this is so cool. And he like had all these like clone trooper battalion, and I was like, wow, this is really awesome. So I started getting hyped for the thing, and um, for him releasing the server because he was getting all this new content, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be awesome. And that's one of the reasons why SBS became so popular is because it started with all the new custom content, and his stuff got on the front page, and all that types of stuff. So that's how SBS got up. I was there the first day SBS opened, and I actually became a gunnery sergeant for the Wolfpack, and I actually led the Wolfpack for a short amount of time, and I brought and I notified like Korea and Marsoc and Bach, and we all actually were part of SBS for a short time in the Wolfpack, and then I
I had nothing
became,
to do with any of that.
yeah, he wasn't there. I
I
wasn't.
was like, fuck Gary Smile at that
Yeah.
point.
And so I was, and so, um, and I became a moderator on SBS. I'm an ex-staff member, like really old. And what's it called? And then I realized that this guy, being like having all this custom content, he doesn't know how to run a server, and he's just a developer. So he had like a head admin that was like, nothing against 12-year-olds or young kids, because I know there's a lot of mature kids out there. I mean, and the reason I know that too is because, I mean, my brother's a really mature kid. I mean, he's a little crazy, but he is very mature, and not hating on anyone that is young, but the guy was really young. Like the kid was really young, and he like was not. He was a head admin, so um, there was this situation where they forced us to do PT, and then if I was like AFK for like 2 seconds, and I guess they asked me a question, and if you didn't answer the question, they ragdolled you and like anchored you to the bottom of the water in on the Camino map, and like it was getting bad. I was like, God, this is awful, and not to mention the events were trash. So I mean, and so you guys know, like compared to like what we held now, every event we've had, like when me and Jax used to play, was trash. We didn't know what we were doing. It was like spawning in stuff, and we evolved. Like I feel like TCG really set an example for
Oh
events
yeah.
by
Oh
far.
oh yeah.
Like, cause we like grabbed that by the balls. And so SBS, I was staff there, and I was the Wolfpack leader for a short amount of time. I actually went there a while back, and people recognized me because my name was not Megatron, or maybe it was, or Galvatron, or something like that. And it was I don't know, it was fun for the time being because it was all the new content. And the reason my name was Galvatron was because when I was leading the Wolfpack, you had to have a Decepticon name. So like we had a, it was, I mean, it was just fun. So then we decided to blow that popsicle stand, and I told Bach, I was like, Bach, I haven't I let's I had an idea for a server to keep people on and get it popular. I was like, Bach, let's let's try this one more time and give it all we got. Let's go hard or go home. Like literally, let's try one more time. And he was down. And my idea um was because I was playing a lot of CS:GO at the time, and I know how addicting opening boxes can be. And I was like, what if we can incorporate that? So if we incorporate the point shop with these opening box system, and we reward people for staying on the server and being on the server, it will keep people on longer, give them a reason to be on the server when we're on ship as well, not just RP, yada yada. So I was like, this might be a gold mine. Like I might have figured it out. And Bach was into the idea, and then this is when I came to Jax with the idea. And the thing was, it was really hard to convince Jax. But as soon as I told him the idea, I think that's when he was kind of on board with it because he played a lot of CS:GO. Do you remember like when I came over?
Yeah, like literally, I remember it perfectly because you came to me and you were like, yo, check out the server, and you kept like every day you come and be like, yo, you should get on the server and check it out because you guys were still deving it, and I was like, and one day I was like, okay, fine, I'll get on. I was like, I'll entertain you. Let's get on. And so I got on. He ended up giving me like some keys and some boxes, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And there's literally like rarity values to it. Like I was like, oh wow, like it's like just like CS:GO where it's like there's blue rares and like or there's blue items, there's purple items, red items, and gold were the really rare ones. And I was like, that is fucking cool. And he was like, okay, come on, man, like let's do this one more time. And he's like, this is all or nothing, the final shot at trying to run a Star Wars server. And at this point, I was like, I don't know, man. Like it's gonna require a lot of time again. But it looked like they were way more knowledgeable about what they were about to do than ever before. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. I could try it one last time. And I literally told him, I remember, I was like, if this doesn't work, I'm done with Star Wars forever. And he's like, that's all I'm asking. I'm like, okay, cool. And so when was like the day that we released? Because I remember it was
Well,
like it was
then, so you guys know, and then after I talked to Jax and Bach, or after me and Bach came up with the idea, we invited Jax, and then after we invited Jax and got Jax on board, we got Marsoc and Korea to be owners as well, which was we learned from our mistakes. I'm just letting you guys know.
It wasn't bad at the beginning though at
It
all.
wasn't bad, but it became bad because of it. You
You're
know.
right. I mean, the end result was something no one wanted.
And so we had about 5 owners,
We have
and
exactly 5 owners, yeah.
yeah, and
We released in November.
really,
I remember that. Yeah, we released in
I mean, you
November.
could probably go to the TCG Steam group and see the day it was founded.
I could try it, yeah.
I know it's still up.
I don't even know who's a part of it anymore. Maybe Bacchus?
Bach probably is.
Oh, there's so many groups. Well, anyways, we started it up, and I don't even remember how the first day went.
First day we hit 35 players.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
so
we
you
were
guys
on
know.
November 18th.
So
I was
you
like,
guys
damn.
know. So you guys know. I worked my ass off trying to get this server popular.
Oh, he did. And there's not even like a question.
And even LG, like
Oh, yeah.
we did a lot of like prepping for it, and you guys will hear some of it. But like
Oh yeah, for sure.
okay, so on top of just so you guys make it clear, I was staff on ASG, I was staff on JPL, I was staff on NOM, I was staff on COG and NRG and on SBS. I was literally staff on every Clone Wars server that I legitly played on, and I made a lot of friends. And
A
so
lot.
I had a lot of connections at that point, and I had a lot of people that I knew. The day we released TCG, well, not even the day we released TCG, when we were planning and getting deving ready for TCG, I was a whore, okay?
Yeah, he talked to a lot of
I would
people.
join on Star Wars servers, and I wouldn't minge, and I wouldn't advertise, but I would be extremely friendly and join battalions and make people like me. Well, not make people like me. I wasn't being fake. Like, I wasn't being fake. I just was being myself and how I would normally play, and people took a liking to me. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
I
I
like to
mean,
think.
you gotta think about it. Like, I mean, I'm sure everyone that's met Jinx before knows that he has kind of a magnetic personality. He really attracts like everyone that he talks to, honestly. And he probably won't admit that, but everyone that knows Jinx and like truly actually like has talked to him before knows that his personality is pretty easy to like mesh with immediately. And he gets that. To be fair though, it comes to the dark side because everyone tries talking to Jinx, and that makes it harder for people to talk to him because he's like, damn, there's a lot of people talking to me right now.
Yeah. So, what was
You're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about making all those
yeah.
connections and kind of
I
marketing.
joined. Yeah, I was playing it smart. So I was making a lot of even I knew I had a lot of friends already. I was like, why not do this to make our server bigger? And another thing is, on the other servers, we didn't do this, in which I learned from SBS, and they created a Steam group before the server was even released to hype it up, and that's exactly what we did. On top of that, like me going to different servers and meeting new people and stuff like that while I was being devved, like it was all really well planned. And then the first day we released, also like on top of like the ideas that I came up with, like I tried to reinvent Star Wars, like how we did Star Wars. And just so you fuckers know, okay? Listen here. The point shop system and the crate system, I wish we still had that, but it would it lags the server. And that's why we ultimately removed it from TCG. But the whole wait, did we do that on wait, I think that was just Lazarus actually. Yeah, that was Lazarus. Never mind, I'm not gonna bring that up. Um the Yeah, so the big idea for TCG was the boxing idea, and then so we had 35 players on. We kept players because of the boxing system. There's actually some YouTube videos out there of old TCG, and you can actually
Oh
see the
yeah, for
boxing
sure.
system in place. It was a lot of fun. It was great, and everything was going really well. And then so I mean everything was going good. Um, and like I said. I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna tell you how it led to the end. So everything was going good.
We met a lot of good man. Our staff was pretty
Yeah,
good on
our stuff was
TCG.
pretty good. We met a lot of awesome
We met a
people.
lot of good staff, and then
And
I
then
mean,
we met.
User joined your channel.
How did this happen?
motherfucker. God
User
damn it!
left
Did you
your
not
channel.
read the fucking thing? All right.
Um, uh, so I lost my train of thought. We actually made Toby an owner at this point.
Oh, okay. Wait, that was after Bach, maybe?
Oh yeah, okay.
The
So
Bach?
Bach had to quote unquote resign. We didn't let him, but he had to resign because he in Singapore, like they're really uptight about school over there. So he literally had to just study, and he was our main dev, and so he couldn't be an owner anymore. But he was like an owner in the behind the scenes. I mean, he's kind of like that in LG too. So
Now,
we
yeah,
just
yeah.
we just call him the ghost owner because he's there and he's not, and that's kind of how he becomes. So and he's a savage too. So don't get on his bad side; he'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Um,
But at this point, he gave he retired, or he didn't retire as owner, but he had to take a break. He couldn't play,
Yeah.
and he was
By
like,
the
"There's no
way,
way." Go ahead.
Bach is a god. Just so you guys know, he's so smart. He's so awesome.
Literally, like it's crazy how smart
Yeah.
this guy is. Like
He
it's
literally did
fucking
all
dope.
the deving for TCG for the longest time until Korea took over. And Korea learned from Bakuda, and
Yeah, yeah,
Bakuda literally figured this out all himself. And he's so smart. We honestly wouldn't be we wouldn't be here without him because we wouldn't have anybody to dev. So
yeah, for
if you
sure.
see Bach, give him a big thanks. Even for LG too, he did a lot of work on LG. Um, but yeah, what were we gonna say? Sorry, I didn't
I
mean
was
to
gonna
cut.
say like he had to give up. So he gave all the PayPal information, all everything. He dragged it all. He gave it to all to
The
Korea.
accident.
Yeah, so he gave it to Korea,
So okay, just so
and
you guys know, like some people could be like, "Oh, why did you guys give it to Korea? Why did you do that?" Um, just so you guys know, me and Jax have been planning to live together for a long time. Like we're best friends as of right now. I think so. I mean, I
yeah, for
think
sure.
yeah. And we plan to live together. We have this whole thing. Um, and APT, motherfucker. Yeah, you if you guys ask him why I said that, you'll know why.
Yeah,
You
he'll
talk to
know.
him, ask him.
Yeah.
You'll see. So and we were actually Korea was actually planning to come and live with us at one point. Like
Yeah,
Korea was
he was down.
actually a really close friend. Like
Yeah, he was actually like one of my best friends at that
yeah,
point.
he was a real homie. Like Marshak was a good friend, but like Korea, like we helped Korea through stuff too, and he helped like us through stuff. Like he was a close friend at that point. Like I absolutely trusted him. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
I did too.
um, I mean and then and after and that's why the PayPal was transferred over because Korea was like I got this. And it was kind of hard having Bach have the PayPal too because like when we
Sometimes
needed
we see the
like
payments
that
and
we
stuff
needed
and like extra
payments and stuff
add-ons.
we didn't want to bug Bach while he was studying, so we just Korea was on top of it and everything seemed like it was
Yep.
going good. We got Toby as owner, which was okay at first, which was actually a mistake the in the end.
In the long run, yeah.
um Okay, so now we're gonna go into like the downfall, or like kind of like the pinnacle, and then it's gonna start sliding down. So,
Okay.
this is most likely me at this point
Wait.
too.
First off, we should go through the PUBG and Sky era, because
Oh
that was fun.
God,
Okay,
you
so we
you do
had
this
these.
part then. You do this
Okay,
part.
all right. Okay, so we had these two. I won't make it too long. We
Okay.
had these two super admin, or well, they made their way up all the way to super admins. Um, and they were actually a couple in real life, or I think they were like online couple, but like they're pretty much like been together forever. I think at that point, so like they were a couple on the server, and they were like super good at adminning. They were leaders of the 21st Nova Corps or the Galactic Marines. They had a great. First of all, they had a great battalion. I will never talk shit about the way they ran the
Oh
battalion.
yeah, they were awesome.
Um, they were great staff members.
Mhm.
Literally, like
Literally our
they
best
did their job
members.
perfect. Yeah, literally the best staff members we had until Miracaj came. Shout out to Miracaj.
Yeah.
I'll talk to about him more later. And he and those two pretty much like had helped us out through everything. Everything they did was just to help our server out, and it
I
was super
really
cool.
wish
This
it
is
didn't end like how it did, because I really even
and
out on that.
one day we decided that we would make a donation option to where people could purchase weapons and it'd hook up to their Steam ID and stuff like that. And they were not happy about
And
it,
so
to
you
say
guys
the
know,
least.
we weren't being Jewish about it. We were just trying to figure out more ways for people to donate because it
Yeah,
seemed like
so we didn't have anything except for battalions and Jedi, which now I mean in TCG or in I'm sorry in LG we have like the models and stuff like that. We didn't know how to model make before then or before at that point I guess. So everything all the models we made weren't ours. There were other people's that we bought from. Um, so these guys were not happy about the whole weapon thing. We were like, this is gonna bring in like a good amount of income to keep the server up, and for us, we could stop the sell of battalions because at that point there was like 20 battalions, something like some high number. Um, so we ended up trying to compromise, or I ended up. It's not even we. Marsoc and I, which Marsoc is just the hardest person to try and like be a team with because he's kind of like troll as hell, which we'll get into more later.
Oh,
Um, but it was me and him. We were talking to Pubsy and Sky, and they were just not having. I tried making compromises and doing and setting things up, and they were just not having any sort of it. And I was like, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this no matter what, honestly. And all the other owners were on board. At one point, Korea was not on
against
board.
us. Yeah,
He
he
was
was like,
super against us, and I was like, what's going on, man? Like, it's us five people, or well, I guess four at that point, because it was me, you, Marsoc, Korea, and Toby. Okay, so there's five. So Toby. Um, so it was us five. Toby didn't really have a say in anything. He was
he's kind of
super.
just there.
He was just there. He honestly wasn't even an owner. He was just there. Like we would.
I don't think he
He
ever was
wouldn't.
an owner.
We try, honestly. It was a couple times where I would try and get like an opinion for him
Yeah,
or
and
from
he
him,
wouldn't
and he
really.
just wouldn't care. He just give me the most like generic answer. I'm like, come on, dude. Like if in an owner discussion, we need to pick like a yes or a no, or you need to do something to figure it out. And he would never give me a straight answer.
Yeah.
I
Even
mean,
to
this
the very
carried
end, he never goes.
this carried on to the very end. Yeah, this never changed. Even to this day, he'll probably just back out of stuff. So it's always Marsoc, Korea, Jinx, and I making decisions, and we honestly kind of split up at that point too. It was really Jinx and I, and then Marsoc and Korea on like, and then I remember we used to have a TeamSpeak, and like me and Jinx never got on TeamSpeak ever. We would always be on Skype in our own calls with like a couple people. And honestly, that was a big mistake. I regret that a lot because now I'm on TeamSpeak and now I can talk to people all day. It's kind of fucking annoying when people poke you, but other than that, I think it's way better on TeamSpeak. And I mean, we changed that though. We live and learn.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually
so
don't
we're
like being
talking.
on Skype as much anymore.
Nah, I hate Skype now. So we're
Thanks.
going.
Shout out
We're
to
going.
Cervantes for that, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Cervantes forced us to get on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, Cervantes was a real guy. Oh yeah, Cervantes was our head admin at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. He was a really high-ranking staff member. We like went to him with everything. He actually was the one that like thought of this idea first off, like the whole money idea. And so it was honestly me, Cervantes, and Marsoc. But Cervantes went to talk to them, and they weren't budging. And I was like, oh, I mean, cocky me. I'm always cocky at this in this type of stuff. I'm like, I could change their opinion easy. And so I went in and talked to him, and there were brick walls. I said some stuff I shouldn't have had said. I kind of raised my voice, which was a mistake on my end. I lost my cool, and they lost their cool too. And so ended up like Korea heard about it later, and he got mad at me, and I was like, hold up, motherfucker, like I'm trying to like support for the team here, you do. And like he was trying to get on their side and stuff, and he's like, we're not doing it, and I was like, listen up, we have no other income other than battalions and Jedis. Like we can't be selling an infinite amount of battalions anymore. We have to stop, and we have to figure out something else. And he's like, you're right. And then I was like, so listen, and I was like, Jinx is now like, because Jinx was kind of like on the fence. He didn't really care too much, honestly. And so it was really me, Marsoc, and Cervantes pushing for the guns, or for the weapons to be sold. And Korea and Pubsy and Sky were pushing against it. So I was like, this doesn't make any sense because there's a super admin, head admin, and an owner versus like 3 owners and a head admin. It just didn't make any sense to me. I was like, this should go through, and so it ended up going through and being a really good idea. But like a couple weeks later down the road, Pubsy and Sky end up resigning as staff members. No ill will. They didn't do like a mass ban or anything, which I respect and stuff like that. They just left. Like I believe like something in their forum post said like, oh, we don't like the direction this server is taking, and it was honestly a pretty big hit to us because they're honestly a really really big part of the server. Like without them, a lot of shit wouldn't have gotten done. And so we were like, we need someone to replace them pretty much. And
The young Mirakash.
and then the Lord sent me down a sweet little moderator that ended up being one of my best staff members to this day. One of my best staff members. Everything you ever want from a staff member: answered calls, dealt with shit you didn't want to deal with, and any donation questions. He got everything done. Everything that I needed to be done, he got it. He ended up climbing the ranks fast as shit, right? I think something like he was like mod, and then admin like 2 weeks later, and then super admin 2 weeks later, and
Yeah.
then head admin 2 weeks later. It was crazy. I mean, he deserved it with all the hard work he did, though.
I
Honestly.
would take him back if he came to play an OG. I'm gonna lie to you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, then we'll get to that later too. Um, So he comes back and he's a fucking, or he's in the picture now. He's helping us out. He's doing 10 times what Pubsy did, and he
And
was
Sky
literally,
like
yeah,
together, like that's why.
combined.
Yeah.
Pubsy and Sky were not even close to Miracage. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He was a fucking workhorse. And I mean, I hope to this day he's still working hard and shit. I'm sure he's like a
Yeah.
little burnt out
Hope
now.
he's doing good.
But man, that guy was a fucking great admin. So he was a homie. We ended up having him. I never had to worry about anything. And at this point, I become really, really, really inactive.
Well, hold
I
on.
just stopped. Oh, go
Well,
ahead. I don't know
well, I
what
was
you're
gonna
talking about.
say, I was gonna talk about um, like some other stuff before you talk about like your dad and stuff. If
Oh, I
unless
was
you were
gonna talk
going
about
there.
that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying this is before that. I became really inactive. I don't even know what I was playing at that point. It might have been like League and WoW, honestly.
No,
It
Overwatch
might
came
have
out.
been it hadn't. It hadn't come out
Really?
yet. Yeah, this is way before then.
Oh,
Overwatch just came out this year. What the fuck are you talking about?
cancer. Sorry.
Um, so I become really inactive, like literally going on like once a week, for like an hour max, and I'm not even staffing in that hour. And literally, I just take questions in Steam chats, and like I show up for staff meetings at that point. To be fair, my staff meetings always go well. I always get shit done in staff meetings. Um, but other than that, I become really inactive. I just didn't have that spark anymore that I wanted to play on the server. Um, and I think it was the time we were making our team, James. We made like a League of Legends team, which wasn't the best. Um,
Oh,
I think it's
maybe.
around
I don't
that
know.
time
I
with
just
Spatus and them.
really.
I think. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah. So I become really inactive. I don't know what you were doing. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that around that time. I know you were for sure you were playing League, but I think you were just still on the grind, like staffing and stuff and
I
doing
think so.
events.
I was always dedicated, no matter what. Even
Yeah,
even if I.
he was on all the time still. Marsoc was on a lot, and
Yeah.
Korea at that point had a job, so he didn't get on as much. And when he did get on, he'd play another game for a little bit, and that's really it. So I was not on. Toby and Marsoc were always on, and Jinx was on about like half of the time they were on. But Toby and Marsoc did not make the best decisions. Like I would always come back to like the weirdest shit happening. Like I remember this one time Marsoc gave this guy Doom Battalion, just gave it to him
Yeah.
for like nothing. I was like, what the fuck? Just like a brand new guy to the server. He first gets second lieutenant and a battalion for himself, and without like obviously without he didn't pay shit. He didn't buy anything. It was super unfair. Um, and I came on and I was like, okay, you're gonna have to demote the guy because he's not gonna be happy about this, and I'm not happy about this. And I told Korea, and Korea wasn't happy about this. And I was like, what's going on? And with the thing with Toby is that he would still not want to do anything. Like we would tell him to go, like there was hard shit to do, like staff. Okay, demoting staff never gets easier, never. Like to this day, I've demoted probably around 50 players to normal ranks. Sometimes even banned them, and it never gets easier each time. Especially if it's someone that you know you used to like someone that used to be kind of a homie.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just a bitch because like it's like damn, like I don't want to do this to you, but you literally leave me with no choice. And that happened a couple times. And so I ended up having to demote the guy from the battalion myself, and we had to talk to him like, oh, this was a mistake, and like I apologize and stuff like that. And he obviously was pissed off. He's like, why like it's like a like why are you doing this, and like why'd you give me a battalion and take it away a second later? And I was like, the person that gave it to you wasn't really authorized to give it to you at that point, and I didn't even know how that was a problem in the first place. Like it was not something I should have fixed. Um, and so every time I got on, I pretty much just got angry and got off because like they're just making really dumb and mingy decisions. Um, Marsak and Toby. Korea never really made a bad decision, quote unquote. He just made really sketchy ones at times. I know one
Yeah.
time he like banned. You guys know Gjord on our server. He like banned Gjord for a while. Like I don't even know
Yeah.
for what. He just like they got in like a big argument and he banned him. And I had to like pretty much like coach fucking Korea through it all because he was just like fuming. Um, yeah, I don't know if you want to get into like the juicy stuff after that.
So I mean, I can start like going in the direction things kind of went down. Oh, as you know, there was another staff member named Fry. that we had that Korea and Marsak really took a liking to.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and so along these lines, I met someone in the Coruscant Guard. You guys probably know her. Her name is Star. And around that same time, I think Jax's dad started having heart problems, right? Was it heart problems
Yeah,
or?
he ended up having his like first stroke in what, like May or
Hmm.
no, it wasn't March. It was I remember because it was right after it was the day after Easter. It's like March or April.
Yeah.
He had his first stroke, so we were like, "What the fuck?" And like, at this point, I had no idea what the fuck that was. So I went like MIA.
So
Like I
Jax,
literally,
yeah, Jax literally had to resign because he could not get on, and it was really rough and stuff like that. In that same time, the reason why I'm bringing up the Star thing is because obviously a lot of you people know her. I took a liking to Star. I really liked her a lot. And unfortunately didn't work out in the end. But the reason why I'm bringing that up, oh, also we met Star. Star's an amazing person, by the way. I mean, a lot of you know her already. She's a great girl. And we also met Monique through Star as well, and they're both amazing people. They work very hard. They're both very awesome, and they're both super admins on the server. So, um, uh, we met Monique, well, not Monique, Agony. Her name, you guys probably know the same thing. Agony and Star. Star, we've called Star forever, and uh, we met Agony through Star because they're friends IRL, and then so on and so forth. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I had some there was I have I have a couple issues. I mean, everyone has their demons locked away, and I kind of like there was this incident where that happened with Star and Fry when liked Star at the time, and this whole thing I'm not gonna go into that because that's like extremely personal. But there was this incident, it was handled with, and it was over. And this is the same time I was Commander Carnage, if anyone didn't know. And so I and this is like getting really close. So like maybe like 3 weeks before this, and this is all near my birthday, by the way. It was around in April when all this happened. Maybe it was the night of my or the day of my birthday, which I regret because a lot of you still hurts my heart. Like I just couldn't talk to you guys that day on my birthday, and it was awful, and I regret that. Um, it was, and the reason why I couldn't talk, it was I got demoted around that same time. But the reason why I know I got demoted, okay, this is the reason I fully believe, and hopefully Jack sees it this way too, because I don't know how other way. Okay, so you guys know, yeah, Korean Marsoc did a lot of the work, but I set up how game makers work. Yeah, they did the tryouts and stuff, but I set the example. And I'm not trying to like act like I'm all high and mighty, but I did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of the main design for TCG's Venator, did I not? Like I
yeah,
did
yeah,
a lot of that, like the Mega Barracks. I made the Mega Barracks and the rules for the Mega Barracks.
yeah.
Like and why
That's all
and
you.
how yeah, and the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because it basically became like Jax and basically now Jax and Bach are out of the picture now. Like I mean they're around, but they're out of the picture. They're not owners anymore. So it's me, Toby, Marsoc, and
In Korea,
in Korea. Now, as you guys know, I mean we were all pretty around the same time Jax was still around. We were still all pretty like
good friends.
good friends. But as soon as Jax left, he wasn't around anymore, and Korean Marstock was. Remember, there was even as close as we were and how we fix things. It was always me and Jax and Korean Marstock. You know what I mean? It was
Oh yeah,
always
yeah.
like that. And around that time, um, they what happened? Fry, Frye. He was promoted. I never promoted him. He was promoted to head admin, um, around there. And Miracaj was staff manager, and around that time, 327th was a big battalion, and but it died out because the commander left. He actually resigned. There wasn't people playing in it. It was, it was it was dying. It was dead. It was basically dead. So, and it was one of the first times I removed the mega barracks, and I was like, for 327's inactivity, their barracks will most likely be removed. And then I decided that they've already been inactive for like 2 weeks now, like or a week or so, which is already crazy. Like it's your and their commander left that day. So after I hosted the event, I was like it should be removed already. You know, that's how I set the rules. Now, and don't you guys forget, Korean Marsoc got really close to Fry, and I think that's why he got promoted so fast. I don't even remember promoting him at all. And so then Fry throws this fit, and Korea gets mad at me. Marsoc gets mad at me for demoting him, and so they're linking it through because I like Star a lot, and there was this issue because I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. I get jealous sometimes. That's just the type of person I am, and I mean I don't necessarily like it, but I get upset at things, and I mean I didn't do anything. I didn't let my emotions ever affect me, to be honest with you. If it affected me, I would leave. Like there was some times I would leave the server. Um, because I just couldn't handle it. So I didn't make any rash decisions. You know what I mean? I don't let my emotions get the best of me in that way. Sometimes, most times, I let the emotions get the best of me, and it fucking sucks. That's one thing I hate about myself. But anyway, we're gonna get on. And so, so they linked that to me and me liking Star a lot, and I was just like, it had nothing to do with that situation. Literally, your battalion is active. So Fry went on like saying, "Oh, you've doomed 327th. This is all your fault." Blah blah blah. And he was getting extremely upset at me. And I'm like, "How? How is that even? What are you talking about?" And the thing is a lot of people don't understand. Me and Jax came from running battalions. We know how to run a battalion, and we know how to make a good battalion. And not even being elite soldiers, we had the basic kit shit. So if people come up to us and are like, "We can't do this, we can't do that," it's bullshit. It's very. I mean, it's not easy, but everything because you don't have something doesn't mean like if you
It
don't
makes it
have
any
that
worse.
special kit or you don't have that special barracks doesn't mean you're not going to get players. That's bullshit because me and Jax live that life, and that's why I even to this day I promote people the way I do and make them sit in their ranks is because promotions deserve to be meaningful, not handed out like fucking candy. And you gotta understand, we have a lot of experience when it comes to this stuff. It's not like we were just like, oh, let's do this. You know what I mean? It's not like that. And so he was arguing with me about it, and I was like, no, I don't care. Like, I don't care about this situation anymore. I made my decision as an owner. I'm done. So, obviously, Fry goes, I mean, I don't know if he did this, but I'm pretty sure he did. He went and complained to Korea and Marsoc, and Korea got super upset at me. And he was like, and then he like talked to me. He's like, dude, what do you mean you don't care anymore? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, and he was like, what do you mean you don't care about the server anymore? I'm like, when did I ever say that? What are you talking about? And he was like talking about Fry and stuff, and he was totally on Fry's side at this point. Fry's side, Fry's side, and um, and that's kind of when it started going hectic. So then shortly after, I was demoted from owner of my own server, which, for you guys' information, me and Bach invited them. So me and Bach started this shit, and now I'm being removed from something I created with Bach. Like our ideas, Bach's money, Bach's developing. Like it was our. I made that sound like it was Bach's server. It was me and Bach combined. Like it was a lot of my ideas and getting the players like and doing the events like that. I was what is it called? I was the control, like not control guy, but what would you? I was the face. What
The
they used to
face.
call me
Yeah,
this.
you're the
Yeah,
face.
I was the face
You're
of
the
the
face
server.
of the
Bach would
server. I mean,
handle
you still
everything.
are.
Uh, and
Yeah, yeah.
um and that's how it worked. But now I'm being removed from my own server because of a decision I made from the rules I created. You know what I mean? And I had no one to be able to defend me with the same power because Jax had resigned and Bach had resigned. So it was me versus Toby Korea and um Toby Korea and oh my phone my headset's on Korea Marsoc and Toby. Now, and like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna lie to my community ever again, you know. And it was just, I tried to explain the truth on TCG when I got demoted, but they removed my stuff off the forums. Um, I know a lot of people have a lot of problems and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know how to get into that. Um, so I mean, like I said, I have a lot of issues. I don't like to say that I'm depressed, but I would like to think so sometimes because I don't know, there's a lot of issues that I like I know I don't like saying that because I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's just, you know, it's just that and it's just this. But I mean, if it's been happening for a long time and it's even before like me playing games, and I've always had this issue. I would like to think that at least like I'm not just overreacting about things and stuff like that. Um, and that's why I don't really like to talk about my problems, is because I know people have, you know, better lives out there and stuff like that, and I have no reason to complain. But I don't know, I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm telling you guys like one of the reasons, quote unquote, it I got demoted as well, is because there was times where I would get like severely depressed, and because I have these kind of like mood swings in a way where I just can't handle it. Um, and I just kind of lose myself a little bit. And I'm thankful now too. I'm so thankful that I have Jax in my life now, and you know my other friends like Robert and Monique and Tony and Eddie and Knox and stuff like that to be there for me because I didn't have that for the longest time. And I mean, and when TCG came around, I mean Eric was there for me, full support and stuff like that, and to help me try to like, you know, figure this out. And like I said, I'm not we tried to have a conversation with Marsoc, and Toby's career was supposed to be there, but he was
Hold
busy.
on. I just wanna throw this in there. Like I literally the day he got demoted, I was like I was reading the forums and I was like what the fuck is going on? Like I was still admin on the forums or whatever. It was not a big deal. I wasn't gonna do anything at TCG. So I ended up getting a phone call later from Korea. And I'm at the hospital right now. My dad had his like second stroke or third stroke,
Yeah, it was
and
really bad.
I was at the hospital. So I walk out of the hospital at like 2 a.m. and I call and I get the phone call. And I'm talking to him and I was like, and Korea's like, dude, like I don't know what to do right now. We just demoted Jinx. Like, um, this is like I don't know. I don't know if it was the right decision. I was like, what do you mean? It was obviously not the fucking right decision. I was like, we need to talk about this and you didn't even you didn't it didn't even sound like you guys talked for a long time and had like valid reasons or anything like that. Like
There was
it's
no
something
valid reasons was the thing. Like,
it was something that they did spontaneously, and honestly, that's how they work though. So I can't really hold like they worked
but the
spontaneously.
thing is one thing that me and Jax constantly forgot during that was that Korean Marsoc were younger than us.
Yeah, I
And
mean they're what like 14 and 17, 14, 16,
yeah,
something like that.
and I mean, I mean, even if they're watching this today, there's no way that they can't say they were even a little bit influenced. And that's what would like to believe, because I would like to believe that the people that I thought of friends, like that actually thought of me as friends, wouldn't have done this to me. So I would like to believe that someone influenced them, which I think was Fry. Um, because I removed their Mega Bears, because it seems like everything exploded after I did that. Which, so you guys know, honestly, the removing of the Mega Barracks wasn't that big of a deal. Like it really, it wouldn't like it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like it was nothing. Like there was no reason to. I wasn't removing the battalion. It was literally just a barracks. Like that's all it was. Um,
Yep.
and it kind of led to that. And then, so I don't know. I actually didn't hear that part where Korea actually called you. I never.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
so we were talking on the phone for a while, and I was telling him I was like, okay, I get home. I think I get home in like 2 days, and I was like, we're gonna talk about this on TeamSpeak with everyone there. And Jinx wasn't talking to me. He wasn't replying to my text or whatever. This was like on his birthday too. I remember, and um, and he wasn't replying to my texts, and I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Monique was there. Monique was fucking pissed off. She was texting me like, oh, this guy or like Korea's a dumbass and all this shit. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, give me a second. I'll figure it out. And so I was like, and I was pretty sure again. I was pretty cocky about this. Like, I can get this fixed easily. And so I can call, or so we show up a couple days later, and we get into into TeamSpeak. I have to. I was on James or on with Jinx with on Skype, and I was like, "Yo, come on, let's just do this real quick." And I mean, I was pretty
That was pretty reluctant.
sure I
Yeah.
would. Yeah, I was pretty sure I could actually get this to work. And so we go on TeamSpeak, and Toby and Marsoc is there. Korea, like James said, Korea was like busy at work or some shit like that. Um, and so we started talking, and just the way like Marsoc carried himself in his conversation, like it was honestly disgusting. It just felt like he had no sense of what the other person was feeling at all. What do they call it when like a person can't feel, like they don't have a consciousness?
No, I don't know. I don't know how to
Uh,
like.
a sociopath? There you go. I think he's like that. He had
Uh,
like sociopathic tendencies and like just not caring about, like we were talking about, like Jinx's mood swings and how he gets there, and like how we just have to, like, it wasn't the first time it happened, and like we already knew how to deal with
and
it. And and
this wasn't even like owners type thing. This was like at this point it was like
friends,
like
yeah,
our friends
or
talking
what we
about
thought
it.
were friends, yeah.
Yeah.
And Toby still to this very second was completely passive and didn't do anything, didn't say anything, and ended up agreeing with Marsoc when we were saying, when I was like, because I was trying to get this fixed. I was like, why don't you guys like try and fix this? And they were like, why don't you, word for word, I think he said like, why don't you go get some professional help and then we could talk about
Yeah,
bringing you back to owners.
when you're better, you can come back or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
some shit.
literally,
I was like, what the
so you
fuck?
guys know, in the midst of all this, we were trying to solve an issue, and it seemed like they were like literally Marsoc linked me a suicide website like in the
Oh yeah,
midst of all
Suicide
this,
Watch website. Yeah, I was like,
and I was
what the
like,
fuck?
are you serious? I left the TeamSpeak at that point. I think like I was just like I can't do this anymore. It was just
Yeah.
and that's when I like we finally like fit like I don't know. It was just like it was a side that I never saw of Marsoc, and I couldn't. It was insane because it was like we were friends for like I don't know. I mean these are
Like
people that we trusted, and
a year at that point. Yeah.
it's like having a close friend and just like totally just like I don't know. It was really rough, and it was pretty awful. And um, I think after that, um,
After that, I talked to Korea on TeamSpeak again,
oh
but
you
he
actually
pretty
talked to him?
much, yeah, he pretty much, like, I told him like what Marsoc said, and I was like, yo, like, are you like do you actually agree with that? And he's like, I mean, yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. I was like, never. I pretty much, long story short, I was like, okay, never mind. Then this is not gonna work out. And I was like, you guys will take good care of the server. And I told him that. And I was like, you guys don't need me anymore. And I was like, and I was like, I was pretty much like done with TCG. Like I resigned from owner, but I was like didn't want anything to do with it anymore. And I backed out. And Jinx was pretty pissed off in weeks to come. Um,
It
and I
was rough
think
for me.
and we pretty much just like played League
I don't know. It was like
just for a couple weeks.
it was pretty traumatizing for me. I think because I just I'm like I said, I'm an emotional person. I mean, a lot of people are, but it's like how everything went down. It kind of just like crushed me because it's like I worked so I never wanted to stop. I mean, there was times where I like quit because just I couldn't take it sometimes, but like I never wanted to stop being an owner. I mean, like it was I worked so hard like to get to where we were, and it just was taken away from me like just like that, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
So,
So then,
um,
I mean, you want to start getting into the.
so basically what happened next is we were, I think almost immediately. I mean, my dad played a big part in this because he
Oh
knew how
yeah.
big TCG. If you guys don't know my dad, he's amazing guy. He actually basically is an owner since he gave us the seed money to start LG.
Yeah, he actually gave
Like
us the first like
like
funding money of it.
yeah,
Um.
and he's a pretty awesome guy. I love my dad, and he was a big part. He was just like, why don't you? He was just like, fuck those guys. Why don't you fucking just make your own? And like, I was like, I was like, oh, I mean, like we could. And then like, Jax was completely on board, like right off
Literally,
the
like
bat.
I honestly, I only, like, to be completely honest, I don't think I've ever told you this. I only did it to try and make you happy again. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I was like pretty much over Star Wars at that point. Again, like I always am.
Yeah.
And I was like, we could do it. Like I knew it already. I was like, I know last time we said like this was the final try on TCG,
Yeah.
and I was,
Yeah.
but we didn't fail. Like
Yeah.
we didn't fail. That was a success. It just shit
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and I was like, let's do it again. Let's try it again. And then we went. What was it? We went with like Monique and Ebby, and we were literally just trying to
Yeah.
figure out names. And
Names
we were just like,
becoming a
and
thing.
we're gonna
And
disagree up here, cause
shout out to Monique because she does an awesome. She's an awesome staff member too. But she actually made us our first logo. If
oh
anyone
yeah, that thing's
remembers,
fucking dope. The
that
little
was
had
really
the
awesome
pharaoh.
before we simplified it. But it was still an awesome logo.
Oh yeah, and it
Yeah.
was hand drawn, which is even
Oh
more
yeah,
sick.
she's a great artist. Um,
Um,
go ahead.
so
What was
yeah,
it?
we ended up going across a couple names, and like the big one that like I remember like vividly because like we could have easily been this name was
Reforged, right?
Reforged Gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like it makes sense because you know like
Yeah.
we just lost TCG. This is us like I'm pretty much like Star Wars: A New Hope. We're fucking
Yeah.
reforging this shit over, and this is like the new and improved Reforged Gaming, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna disagree because I think Monique and I made up with Lazarus, and you think your dad did.
I'm
But
pretty sure my dad did. 100%.
just to make this easy on everyone else, we're gonna pretend that your dad did. I don't know how true that is. But
I'm almost
we ended up coming up with this name, and we are like, what does that even mean? And so we looked it up, and it was pretty much like coming back from the dead. And I was like, that kind of makes sense too, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, let's go with it. It sounds cool. It kind of rolls off the tongue. And I was like, let's do it completely Egyptian themed, right? I'm
Mm.
pretty sure I came up with that idea too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like sand, pharaohs, scarabs. I remember like throwing out ideas, and and Monique
It
was
was,
super fucking hyped at
yeah.
this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
She was like
She
I
was
could
so excited.
she was like I could do this easy, and
Yeah.
she starts like drawing up stuff, and she's like I can't show you until it's done.
Yeah.
I can't show you until it's done. I'm like okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so we go into the dev work. Oh, and we forgot. Our dev was originally going to be APT, and I was talking to Jinx, and I was like, honestly, me, you, and APT are a great fucking team. Like no matter what, like we're just we are all level headed, so we don't have to worry about fucking like you know like Korea
Yeah.
and Marsoc style going down,
Yeah.
and we're all fucking
I don't think
we're
our
all level headed.
personalities have ever like as long as I've known Jax, like I don't think we've ever actually got into a fight ever. Like
No, no, no.
no, and then same with APT. Well, I don't even
Oh,
know how you'd get in a fight
I've
with
never. Yeah,
APT.
you can't get in a fight with APT.
I
He's
don't even
actually
know
the
how.
nicest guy ever.
Yeah, because like
Um,
he's the guy that like if you wanted to like I
if
don't
you
know,
wanted to go like do drugs, he's down. If you
yeah,
want to do anything, APT's down.
yeah,
He's honestly
commit a
the
murder,
coolest guy.
he's like I got my knife, alright, he's got my
Yeah,
shovel
yeah.
ready.
He's actually the coolest motherfucker.
Yeah,
So he was originally gonna be our dev, and I was like, why don't we just promote him to owner? And I
yeah,
was like, me, you, and him will be fucking unstoppable.
yeah.
And literally, it was just the best trio we've ever come up with
Mhm.
in our server
We've
stuff.
gone, we've been
The best
going,
owners I've ever seen on any server, honestly. As far as like multiple owners,
and we don't mean
there's
to
some really
like we
good
don't mean to
solo
like
owners.
brag or anything, but like goddamn, you guys have seen some people like
Yeah, I mean, go to other servers. Like, I'll give shout outs to every owner I think is really good right now.
Rami's pretty great.
Is Rami? Yeah, Rami's really good. Solo owner of Prominent Gaming, really good owner.
Our only
Um,
ally, by the way, Lazarus. Like you know how we don't
yeah.
trust people, you know, long live Lazarus, you know, but like he's literally the only. I think we're his only allies too.
I don't think so. I think he was part of a
It's,
big like organization. But
well,
I mean,
he,
we're
oh yeah,
probably one of the close. I think he's like friends with like NN still. But that's another thing.
oh yeah,
Also,
yeah.
I think I've never met the Ice Fuse guy, but I'm sure that guy's fucking. I heard that
Oh, I
he's
think
like
yeah, yeah,
super nice. I heard that he's super duper nice, and I'm like,
yeah.
that's fucking dope as shit.
It'd be good to meet him
Um,
sometime. Like just be cool.
yeah, I mean, I would talk to him. I don't know. But yeah, he's. I'm sure those two guys are really good. Every other owner I've seen is missing something. 100%. They're missing something that they that I don't want to say that we have, but that we have. You know, like
Yeah.
like we have everything when it comes to owners. Like, oh, I don't know. We just have a good heads on our shoulders, I guess. Not to brag, I guess, but I mean to brag. Fuck it. And we ended up making APT our owner and our third owner, and I was like, that's it. I was like, we only need us three. Ended up being Star, Monique, Cobbert, which you guys probably know, and Dallas, which is Blitz.
Yeah.
We ended up founding the server, and these guys were like, this was my staff team.
This was the dream team.
like, this is gonna work just fine right here. Like we have everything we need. I trust everyone in my staff team. I knew no one was gonna fuck around. And oh man, and so we released, right?
But
Is that the next thing?
in behind the scenes, if you guys didn't know, which I think is a big deal because he is a big person on our. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have contributed to Lazarus, but along the same time, Gemini was actually talking to me. This was before he was super close with me, or because he's a homie, you know, like he's amazing. He's one of the best staff. Is the one of the best staff we ever had, right? Like
Definitely the most dedicated.
definitely the most dedicated. You're right.
I mean, definitely the most dedicated. He's fucking the most like, and he's the most forward. He
Yeah,
does not give it. He will tell me
yeah,
how it is straight up, and
yeah,
honestly, that's what I need in my life.
yeah.
He will fucking
He's
tell
also
me if I'm
gay,
an
which
idiot.
helps.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
uh, so what's it called? I was talking to Gemini, and he was talking. He was actually starting his own server. He was planning on starting his own server. And it's like man, just come over here to LG. And then he was like starting to. He wanted to make he wanted to make like a Black Ops type server, his own take. But I was like trying to get him to come over here, and he was like, sounds interesting. And I was like, I don't know, I think this is looking really good. And I told him like our goals and stuff, and Gemini really took a liking to it. And that's when he asked me, he's like, would I be able to get like a battalion, like a Black Ops style battalion? I was like, screw it, we're starting off, donations, all that types of good stuff. So so he started the 10th Leviathan. I still have that picture where we were actually looking at 10th Leviathan skins on my computer somewhere. Um, and then so he came along and he became and then after that he along the road he's our staff manager now, and so is Solaire, but Solaire's a meme.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a walking meme.
yeah,
Um,
good old
so
Asita.
you want to go into like when we first launch?
Um,
I don't think we missed anything, did we?
first launch.
First launch, literally everyone was there and ready. I remember Robert had work the next day. He's like, I'm
Oh, by the
staying up
way,
for the
like
server
and then,
launch.
yeah, and that was really it was okay. So and that I was we probably would have gotten Lazarus started early, but I was in Chicago for a while
Oh
for
yeah, I
and
forgot to mention that. Yeah,
yeah,
he actually left to Chicago for a
which
month.
was really needed,
And
like because
and we were yeah no yeah I agree and we were about to release it. So Lazarus had been open for a month earlier. I don't know if that would have changed anything. That'd been interesting to check it out,
yeah,
see
yeah,
what happened. But he started up we started up Lazarus a month later due to the fact he came back from Chicago. I think like 3 days later we launched the server, right?
yeah,
Some shit
yeah.
like that. And it ended up being a pretty good first day. I remember the old faces like Knight. I mean, you guys probably all know Knight. He just recently resigned.
Oh, the homie
Man,
Scarface,
Scarface was
which
there. Who
Scarface
else
has
was there?
been with us since ASG,
This
like way
ASG,
back.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
been around for a while. Um, so man, who else was there, man? I can't even think right now. Achilles was probably there. At that point,
Achilles.
at that point, a lot of these people had still had ties to TCG though, so a lot of them were on the fence of kind
Yeah,
of joining. Like I think they liked our server more, but
a lot of people had power on like
they had so
Achilles.
much power on TCG, and they had so much
I mean, but not to lie, after I got demoted, a lot of those people got removed from power. Like I made Achilles Admiral, and they removed Achilles from Admiral when I got demoted. Like they did a lot of changes, and they shit on Jark, dude. They shit on him so hard.
Oh yeah, okay, so we'll go with that drama
Oh,
later
we
too.
didn't even talk about Jark and how he got into TCG too.
Oh, okay. Bingo that.
So
Jark and TCG. It was pretty easy, honestly. Like he just came to us and he's like, what would I do on your server? Pretty much. He came and I was like, why not do what you did on ASG? And he's like, and we gave him, man, we gave him super admin, just like we did on this one. We gave him super admin and we gave him admiral, and man, people loved him, and people still love
I
him.
mean, I love Jark, dude.
Yeah, people love the
He's
fuck
such
out
an
of him.
awesome guy, dude. So
Um,
he's a sweet guy.
So yeah, and he ended up staying with TCG for a while.
Yeah.
And I think when we were in LG, like sometime, they ended up demoting Jark as from super admin and from admiral for I think he was like for
Which
the reason
me,
mass promoting. I don't know if
which
that's true or
me and
not.
you promoted him to, and like after
Yeah.
we
Oh
were
yeah. Yeah.
gone, he like they like were like taking everybody out of power that we put in power.
Yeah. So Jark gets demoted to whatever on TCG, and I remember a big thing on it. And I remember joining their server, their TeamSpeak server.
Oh
No.
yeah.
Okay, so that's in the
Oh
future.
oh
That's not
yeah.
yet, not
Okay
yet,
okay
not yet. Okay,
okay.
we'll go into that. That's a good ass story
Okay.
though. So we go. So okay, let's go back to the release of LG, and it gets good. We have 35 players on the first day. everyone's doing their jobs and shit, and we're just trying to make sure everyone's enjoying. We make the system where it's like, oh, you get you can become a heavy trooper or a assault or not, assault wasn't down. It was heavy, marksman, and normal trooper. Those are the three.
Oh yeah, that was
Um,
the
that
shit
was a
there.
pretty original idea. And
By the way, when I came up with the idea, no one else was doing that shit. Just so you guys fucking know. Now everyone does. It seems like every other survey does it now. I'm just saying. I knew the fact that no one else was doing that. There was no way. There was no
I
way.
mean, just to note a few things that like we implemented, like the way events are done now on other servers. Honestly, we fucking are like the basis of that. Or and by we, I mean Jinx. I didn't really do event shit. Um,
Uh,
and on I mean Juggernauts. Those aren't fucking Juggernauts. Those are Blaze Troopers. like
yeah.
like everyone calls them Juggernauts now because of us.
Hold on,
And
hold
we
on.
made that.
1 second. I'm gonna.
Yeah. So those are the Blaze Troopers aren't, or the Juggernauts aren't Juggernauts. They're called Blaze Troopers, but everyone calls them Juggernauts now. Um, and what else? So like that's just a few things that we've like kind of like made an impact with in like all of Star Wars. Like every Star Wars server does this shit now. Um, so
A lot of our stuff
so
got on the front page too.
oh hell yeah! Like all the female clone troopers, all the Juggernauts,
Juggernauts.
some of our normal models packs, they're
Yeah.
fucking all there. So LG releases and we get like 35 players first night, and I was like, wow! Like I did not expect that at all. We have a 40 slot play. We have a 40 slot server at this point. So we're like, okay, that's cool. Like that's good to hear. The following days we have like 25 players, 30 players each day, and I'm like, okay, that's a damn good start, you know. Like we weren't expecting that at all. And we just keep at it. We keep at it. We had so many good staff members. We have like the likes of Gemini joining in. We have the likes of Indigo or the old Wolfie. He
Solaire.
helps out. Solaire ends up joining with Wolfie, which Solaire like literally like made fun of us the first time he ever got on the server. He'll tell you that too.
Yeah.
He thought this shit was dumb as hell, and now look at him.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you thought I was dumb as hell too when you joined.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
He's literally you.
Yeah, so we have like so many good players joining the fucking server. Man, I can't even think of like stuff off the top of my head right now.
And
Of like
then
people that I
we
just
kind of
helped
started blowing up at that point. So we were getting players so like beside like the add-ons getting popular, we were getting so popular based on like just I mean like the events and all that types of stuff, just everything was just going so well. And then the same time around Jark got demoted.
Yeah,
or
it was
whatever,
it was the same day. Jark
and
got
then
demoted,
the reason yeah.
and then people came to us, like old
Yeah.
TCG players, and they're like, yo, they demoted Jark. Like you have to talk to them and all this shit. I'm like,
And
what
then
the
Jark
fuck are
came
you
to
talking
us
about?
and he told us
And then
about it.
Jark came to us, yeah, and talked to us, and he's like, yeah, they demoted me. And he's like, and he talked about like them having a, they had a business opportunity for us, some shit like that along the
A
lines.
good
I don't remember
old
that.
business opportunity.
And like something along those
Shout out
lines.
to
Was,
Jark too. He really tried to fix things, even though
yeah, he
it
tried to
was-
help them out too, which was like
yeah,
honestly
he tried to mend the wounds, but it just
it was too late at that point. Plus we finally took off. We were running at this point. We were like hitting like what, like 50 players a day, something like that.
yeah. We
Um,
were rocking and rolling.
we were doing pretty good. We were doing pretty good for ourselves. And so we went to their TeamSpeak and we were talking, and there was literally like 60 people or something in like one TeamSpeak channel.
Yeah, all these
And, like,
people we used to know, by the way.
and like none of them the top permission thing wasn't on or anything. It was just them talking, and they were talking about like the whole Jark thing, and we kind of figured it out. And then Jark brought up the idea of Korea and them selling us ECG, and I was like, hold on, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
And
They
they
kind
were
of
like,
like begged us for help too. Like it was like
no, yeah, and I gave it to him. I was like, what the fuck? Like I looked
Yeah.
at the situation and I knew immediately what to do. So I was like, that's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
So, so they came and they were like, okay, like we want you guys, we want TCG to live still. And I was like, cool, I have my own community. I want TCG to live too.
yeah.
But I don't really care if it doesn't.
You guys
know?
got it now. You removed
Yeah.
you said goodbye. You said I was the Oh, I forgot to tell you guys the main okay, so their main reason, like to hide all other reasons, was because I was making people leave and I was killing the server, which there was no leads to that
And we were running like 70 players a day on that on TCG. So I
on
was like,
TC.
what?
It
Like,
was there
what's-
was no issue going on, you know.
Yeah, our server wasn't dying, and so we go over there and they're talking and like, and I told him straight. APT was there too. He was obviously APT was quiet here because he's still timid, and and ABT and Jinx is there, and I literally talked to them, and I was like, first off, I love my community right now, and I'm making it the way, or I was talking for all of, like, for all the owners, like,
Yeah.
and I was like, we love it the way it is, and we're trying to make it different from what we have it here, in the facts that it's not. I don't want it to be end up like shitty with shitty owners, and I was like, I said it in better words. I didn't want to be that fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, but so I was like, I pretty much gave them a deal that was they were never gonna accept ever. And I was like, if I take TCG, it's gonna be under the LG name. They're gonna come to my server and they're gonna come to my website. Like, so pretty much it's just gonna be my server
We're just
anyways.
absorbing TCG
Yeah,
at
we're
this
just gonna
point. We're just
absorb
like
it.
we're taking our players back is basically what we're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. And Korea's there, and he was sitting there like quiet and not saying anything, like
Yeah.
as usual. And um and they didn't know what to do. And obviously it was an offer that no one would ever accept. And even Jark was like, "That's a little, like, absurd." And I was like, "I don't care
Well,
because like I know what's gonna."
they were also saying like they were
We
also saying
remember we
like
were
what
in their territory.
yeah, they were also like proposing that we come back to TCG and we become the
Oh yeah,
owners
yeah,
and we rearrange staff and like
yep. And
I'm like
yeah, they were.
what? I'm like
I was like,
what do
I
you
was like, what the fuck
what?
are we gonna do with that?
I'm like
And
how? Like why would
like
we?
people were like begging us at that point to go back and help them. And I was like, nah, it's not gonna happen.
And the thing
So
is like as much as I love those people, they're like we're all family. We just want our our group to come back together. I'm like, first off, the group kicked me out, and then after I got kicked out, you guys knowing fully, why I hope so that they knew what was going on, didn't like the people like the that's why I talk to you guys like why I hate unloyal people. Like it's like I've been fucked over so many times. COG, ASG, there's so many times. I'm just sick of it. I'm honestly sick of it. And they're like, "You guys are our family." I'm like, I didn't say it. And Eric, yeah, I remember Eric telling me not to say anything because he knew I was gonna heat up.
I
He
literally
knew,
told him
yeah,
like the first thing. I was
yeah,
like, ABT, if you want to say something, you can. I doubt the ABT was gonna say anything. And I was like, James, just shut your mouth.
yeah,
I'll do the talking.
exactly. And I was yelling at him in TeamSpeak too. I remember typing, I'm like, hell no, that ain't gonna happen. But like, I'm like, the people that were loyal to me and believed in me and knew what kind of person I was came to Lazarus instantly, almost instantly. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They came, and that's why it's like it's hard to get rid of people that have been with us for a long time because like those people mean a lot to me. And I know like Scarface caused some problems, and I know if he watches this video, I hope he does. You're still my homie, dude. Like I wish that like things didn't go down the way it is, but like the people that came over and supported me and Jax and APT after all that shit, you guys do mean a lot to us. You guys are absolutely awesome, and that's why Lazarus has another saying. Is like Lazarus doesn't trust anyone. Like that's just it's the truth. Like it's, I mean, not to be mean to other communities, but it just happens. You get screwed over in this kind of work, and it's like and like them saying like over at TCG saying that we were still like a family. I'm like, no, that's not true. Like that's not true. I have a family now. We have a family, and it's funny because like me and Jack, it just got me and Jax more hyped. Like we were like, we can't
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
to see how big Lazarus becomes because like they're already scared of us. You know what I mean? They're already scared of us. Like it's go on with what you were saying with like the meeting because I know that's a big deal. But yeah, I
Yeah,
was
no,
just getting
it's almost done. It's like, first off, I like go and I was like talking and I was doing all the talking here, and I was just saying like, oh, oh, this is that, this is this, like this. If you guys came to us, this is how we're gonna do things, and it's gonna be under my roof pretty much. And of course, no one was happy with it. Like it's an offer no one would accept, and I just kind of made it like that. And so after that, I was like, okay, here, like I literally told him I was like, I don't want to see the community die because TCG, like, I helped it grow too, and I was like, if I see it die, it's gonna be like something I built die too. And I know it's self-manageable now, and you guys just need to put the right people in its place. And so I told them literally, I laid out the entire plan for them. I told them exactly what to fucking do. And Tyrone will be there, or Tyrone will you guys know him. I told him that he needs to be an owner, and I told him that they need to get rid of Toby, and I told him that Miracage needs more power. And that's that. I literally that's or
and so
it's
wait,
something else.
did you say Tyrone already?
Yeah, I told him
Oh,
Tyrone needed to be an owner,
yeah,
and Miracage needs to be a higher power too,
yeah,
and as well as like with Toby being removed from staff,
Yeah,
because he didn't
that
do
was a
anything.
mistake. That was just like a mistake. That
I don't even know how the fuck that happened, honestly. We fucked up. We were like, it was like a drunk night or something. I don't know. So I told him that, and Korea seemed like he was on board. He was like, oh, like I could do it now, and he like sounded rejuvenated, but it was kind of like troll, I
yeah,
guess.
he came back. Oh, one thing that we can never understand about Korea Marsuk is they always seem like they were like it was a joke. So it was really hard to understand in some ways like what they actually meant. Like so
Everything was like a big game to
and
him.
and th- and this is the reason I'm bringing this up is because we were all talking and then Korea was like and then all of a sudden he started talking. He's like, all right, I'm refreshed. I want. And the thing is because he was pointing this out. He pointed this out. He's like, aren't you guys gonna get burned out too at some point? And I was like, me and Jack really was like, hell no, dude. Like, yeah, it wasn't like even a like a burn. I mean, yeah, it was kind of like, I mean, I don't know. It's just we've been doing Lazarus longer than TCG at this point, haven't we?
It's
Oh,
close.
and
No, it's not. It's not close. I think TG's been up for a while.
well, it's still like we're still like we're not burnt out, and I feel and he was like, say, oh, well, it's only a matter of time before you give up too, and I was like,
And I brought up, I was like, okay, hold on. Like we were there, and I'm not gonna lie, I got burnt out in TCG, and I was like, we've done TCG this entire time, and are gonna make a new server, and we're still not as burnt out as you are. Like, what do you mean? Like that doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Like, you honestly, you lost here, and I remember a bunch of people that I mean, like, I remember like Raptor being there, that and he's with us now. I remember, um, shit, well, Fry was there. Fuck. Obviously, Jark was there. Miracaj was there, and honestly, all the high admins were just shutting up when I was talking. Like, I mean, you could tell if that's a lie, but everyone was quiet when I talked because they knew like what I was saying was the fucking truth, and I was like, and I laid out everything they needed to do, and they didn't do it, and I mean, everyone knows, or I guess some of you guys know, that I mean, what a month later after that talk, TCG just shut down. And I was like, wow, that's how they went. I was like, they went down in a blaze of fire, I guess, And that kind of sucked. Like, even though like obviously we had this new community, and I was like, wow, it's like like it's pretty much like our baby's dead. Like
yeah.
our baby's dead, and it felt really fucking bad, kind of. But then what made me really happy was going back to my community and seeing everyone that like obviously none of you guys knew about that, so or a lot of you guys did, but some of you guys
Just kind
didn't.
of behind this, like, I know we didn't, I know we just didn't want to talk about it because it was like, I didn't want it to concern you guys.
Because it didn't. It had nothing to do with
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah, yeah.
It was all their problem. And so like I was like, look at my community. They're happy still, and like look at this other community that I mean, well, my old community are just they were literally like sad. They were sad because I mean, and I would be too. Like I was.
Yeah.
The community died. And everyone that they knew didn't have a place to play anymore, and it kind of sucks. And so we came back and we were like rejuvenated. Like I remember going into TeamSpeak and with Jinx and ABT, and I really hope everything I said you guys also believed in, because I believe in like thoroughly. And they like I remember ABT was like, I couldn't have said it any better myself, and I was like, okay, I'm glad both the owners are on my side here. And so pretty much we leave that TeamSpeak with when they were trying to convince us to go back, and with just like nothing, like nothing happened there. I gave him words of advice that they didn't take, and then we went on to become. Uh, we just went on with LG.
Yeah, and then I don't know, we just like kind of just kept expanding. Um, and LG, and then TCG died. It crumbled without the foundation, and then obviously you guys know TCG basically became NN now. Um, but I mean that's not an issue. Um, but yeah. So now we have Lazarus. I don't think we're planning to close it anytime soon or at all.
No, well, I don't think so.
There's a lot of things we want to do with. I mean, I don't know if like Gary's mod will last forever, but I mean, there's a lot of other things that we can do with Lazarus to stay as a community and stuff like that. And and every day, me and Jax are trying to think of different ways to, um, any ways we can expand in any direction that we can. Uh, whether it be through YouTube or Twitch or other games and all that types of stuff. We wanna try to do that. Um,
I just want to make like a quick thing. A quick thing. I know there's like communities where like owners literally hide in like in their team speak and they like make themselves like invisible in there. Like I'm not. We spend a lot of our time in our channels, but we could be poked at any second.
Yeah.
So like just go and join another community and like well, just go ahead and look at what like their owners are doing. And I promise you, it's being hidden inside their own channel. And I'm like, what's the point of that? You know, like what the fuck? Like what are
Yeah.
you gonna do? I never understood that.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know a lot of people do that now. Like, yeah, I don't. I just one thing. We're just so grateful to you guys. I just hope you guys know that. I mean, I know sometimes I yell at some of you, and I hope that some of you know that I am joking around. You know, when we mess around. Me and Jack, me and Jack say we like to say it's keeping you guys on your toes. You know, but we do care about you guys, and we try our best. I know sometimes you guys might not like decisions we made, but you know, it's all for the best, and we always want to um, expand Lazarus, or not expand, make Lazarus as much as we. I mean, like recently we got. I know you guys have been waiting for the map and stuff, and we honestly feel bad because we've been promising you guys. We thought this would be in more, and I hate promise. I'm sure Jax hates it too. We hate promising you guys something that we can't get delivered to you guys right away. And you know the map's been taking a little bit, but it's coming. I mean, we got the lightsaber sweeps today. You know, we're just trying to figure. We're always trying to better Lazarus in any way that we can. And I know we hit speed bumps, but you know we are very grateful for the people that stay along and you know really are dedicated to Lazarus. You guys do mean a lot to us. I don't know if Jess, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, to all all the players, first off, like thank you for staying around. Like you guys are the entire community, and you guys keep everything alive, and even the people that are a little bit fucking mingy and shit, and like kind of joke around maybe a little too much. Like you guys make it fun for a lot of people. So I mean, I appreciate that, and all those people that get on every day, and like even if it, like they have something like to do later on that day, or they're busy and they have a busy schedule, and they still make time to come join our server. Like thank you. Like we can't. I can't expect anything more from you. And then to my staff, every single one of you guys do exactly what I tell you to do and when I tell you to do. Like I never have to ask you guys more than once. Um for the majority of you guys. Some of you guys I have to yell at a bunch of kind of times. But that's another story. To all like people who like are like people that heard the story and were maybe in the story and like
I know we might have
aren't on
left
our
out some
community.
people, like I know, so I just want to like I want you guys to know that even like we were just kind of like putting the pieces together. I know a lot of you were dedicated and like have been a big part of the community. We don't mean to leave you out or anything. We were just trying to get like the history down. I know there's a lot of good staff members out here. We probably could have talked a lot more about it, but you know we're telling the story. We're not talking about it, and that's why we're you know like I mean we know all of you guys. You guys are all committed, and we all thank you very much.
Yeah.
Um,
And we really try and make ourselves known for having the best staff team in
It's the
Gary's mod,
Lazarus experience, yo. The Lazarus
and
motherfucking
we
experience.
just want you guys to know that every single staff member is trying to help, and even though sometimes it might not look like it, they're following what I'm telling them to do, and which is in the best thoughts of the community, I guess. Um, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
Um, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching my modeling and listening to us talk. I don't know what this model is, but it's up for donation. You know me, Jinx. It's up for donation. 295. This model is called the Lazarus story. I don't know. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Uh, we
Hope this
love you
kind of cleared
guys.
stuff up
Yeah, I
for
hope it
people.
did. I hope it did.
You
And
guys actually know.
by the way, if you guys think that some of this is not true, if someone told you something, we have nothing to hide. I mean, we have there's nothing for us to hide. You know, some people might believe something differently, but this is honest from our point of view and what we've seen. This is how it started, all the truth that was laid out on the table. Um, I didn't go into extreme details on things because some things got like a little too personal, and I mean that's totally fine not to go on that. But I gave you the truth about it, and it's just um yeah, and I hope yeah, like Jack said, I hope it cleared some few things, and I just want you guys to know, yeah, it's okay to be afraid of us, but listen, we're very understanding people, and especially especially I feel like sometimes I'm too understanding because sometimes I'll unban people that do pretty crazy things. I give them a second chance. I don't know if Jack's the same way. Jack's is kind of more of a savage than me.
No,
So,
that's not true. I
well,
feel like I'm way nicer than like
me,
except for APT.
yeah, yeah,
No
yeah.
one's nicer than me.
Like, okay, let's rate ourselves like based on the owner scale, the owner scale
Like of niceness.
of like stuff.
Okay, let's just go through like a bunch of
You
categories
do
because like
you do it better anyway. So you rank
okay,
it.
so like game making, it obviously you take it. You take game making by a
I'm
landslide. I'll give
terrible.
APT second, and I'll give me
I'm
third
terrible
easily.
at
Deving, I'll go with APT number one. I'll go with me number two, and then you number three. As far as like player interaction, it's definitely you, and I think then me and APT are like kind of tied-ish. We have like a tied thing there. APT is a way more nicer approach. People
Mhm.
love me, I think, because I'm more of a dick to them, and like I don't. I just kind of say it how it
I'm a
is.
pretty big dick.
I don't know. You have like a
A
swag to
good
you though.
dick.
Oh god. All right. What else is there that we can scale ourselves on?
Um,
Devotion? I think y'all are way more devoted.
no, that's not
You and
true.
APT are devoted as fuck, dog.
No,
Like I fucking love you guys. No, no
no, I
homo.
think we're
Actually,
all
homo
equal
is fine.
devoted.
I think y'all guys are fucking devoted to shit.
I think
Like
we're
it's just
all
like it's
equal.
like I'm not even. It's not like I'm not devoted. It's just I can't. It's impossible for me to be as devoted as you guys. You guys literally will like
Well,
sacrifice
no, I
everything
mean,
to make one player happy, and I'm like I could do that, but I won't.
but I mean, like all of our qualities together just makes everything run so smoothly. Like it's
That's true. No, I that's why I say I'll say it every single day of the week. Like we're the best team. We're the best three owners that anyone could have.
and
Like
and like
someone play
and in
that
you
hangover
saying
song.
that, I just want to say, guys, I'm resigning. Yeah,
Same.
I
Lazarus
just
Gaming's closing down.
yeah,
Fuck this shit.
we're done. We're done here. But yeah, yeah, feel free to go to our donations website and donate. Um,
Sell out. What the fuck?
no, well yeah, thanks guys for watching. Um, I hope. I mean, I didn't think Jax really wanted to do this. By the way, I don't think anybody will watch it. I don't think anyone cares
I think
about it.
like 3 people watch it.
Yeah, max.
But those three people fucking in.
Maybe a
Those
good
people. Those three
a
people will know
solid
everything though,
a
and they
solid
can say
two.
it.
Watch the only two people watching are Korean Marsoc.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully Jax will actually finish this video.
I'm literally just gonna edit it raw, so it's all raw, boys.
Um, yeah, I mean we stopped the video at one point, so I think maybe you need to switch it. But
Okay,
yeah,
well I'll edit that and then I'll fix everything else. We're good.
but yeah, thanks for guys for watching. We're Lazarus Gaming. And we'll see you later. Goodbye. You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Yeah.